Now that you got your puppy, let's talk about some of the things that you need to do. Once you introduce a puppy into your household, there's some things that are right things to do and some wrong things to do. First of all, do you have young children in the household? You know, a lot of times they do not know how to react to a puppy, they do not know how to play with a puppy, and this can be very detrimental to both ends. We do not want the puppy to get hurt, we do not want the kids to get hurt, so it's important that you introduce them correctly on that. We need to make sure that we do it in a controlled situation, and we teach the children how to play with the puppy appropriately, but we also need to teach the puppy how to play appropriately. Realizing in a dog's world, everything's about the pecking order. It's a matter of who's in charge is who's the boss of the household. So it's important that the puppy knows his place in the household. So when the older dog lets out a little growl, don't necessarily discipline the old dog. If he's not hurting the puppy, he's also training the puppy for you. If you stop that, what you're actually doing is you're telling it it's not appropriate for the old dog to do what he's going to do naturally. So you're basically saying the puppy's in charge and now you're secondary. And that's not a good scenario. That's like letting the kids run the household and you follow their wishes. So make sure that you allow the old dog to do what they need to do. I always say this is a very hard part because every once in a while the older dog is going to discipline the puppy and is going to get rough with the puppy. The real secret here is if there's not bloodshed, let them do what they need to do. If you separate out a fight, a lot of times it's just a fight to be fought on another day. Once the older dog's established that they're dominant and they're in charge, the puppy's going to say, okay, you're in charge, I quit, I'll be subservient, and life is good. Now that may change as they get older and they become larger and a little stronger. They may challenge the old dog, but there again, let them work it out. Every time you step in, you frustrate them, and then they have to figure it out again. So it's very, very important. Let Mother Nature do that. If you ever watch a mother bitch discipline her puppies, she will grab them by the neck, shake them. You're sure you're going to have dead puppies, but the reality is there's very rarely even broken skin. The puppy thinks he's going to die. He's going to scream bloody murder, but there again, there's no broken skin, but she made her point on that. So it's very important to let the animals interact like they're going to interact. Now, one place that this is very dangerous is the food bowl. The older dog may tolerate the puppy very, very well, but they're not going to tolerate them if the puppy gets into their food bowl. The problem with puppies is they have no sense of personal space. So for them to crawl in the old dog's food bowl is nothing to them, but it is something to the old dog. You're messing with my food, and they're going to have a problem with that. That is a common place where puppies get in troubles. This is also a common place where kids get in troubles with the dogs, in the fact that if they're crawling across the floor and they decide to reach into the dog's food bowl, a lot of times they're going to get bit. So just understand that this is normal behavior in a dog, and we need to avoid those situations so that we don't get into troubles. One of the major things that happens in a lot of households too, we just go get this puppy and now we take it home and we change the food for the puppy. This is something that's very, very dangerous for the simple reason. When a body gets used to digesting a certain type of food, the bacterial flora of the intestine is used to digesting that. When you make a change, the average dog, even an adult dog, if you make it too quickly, are going to get vomiting diarrhea. The last thing we want to do is have a baby get vomiting diarrhea because they can get sick very quickly and they do not have the reserves. If they were harboring something before, guarantee it's going to come out at that point. So a lot of puppies are taken home and within the first week end up back in the veterinary clinic. So wherever possible, you want to make sure what kind of food that the puppy's been on and you want to maintain them on that food. Now, some of them are terrible diets. They're not what I'm going to recommend. But in the same token, I do not want to make a change until they're a little bit older. Let them climatize to your environment. Let them get used to all the other changes. And then we'll talk about changing food down the road.